The night of the emergency meeting at the Cedar Crest community room, I laid a manila envelope on a plastic table, let the room settle like dust after a slam, and said, calm as a level in a toolbox. Ms. Carver, you've been living on my land for 5 years. The gavel stopped, the coffee cup stopped, even the air stopped. And for the first time since I moved to Ashford, North Carolina, I wasn't the guy being told to fall in line. I was the guy with the map. My name is Noah Reed. I'm a civil engineer who likes straight edges and quiet mornings, a widower who inherited 10 acres off Cold Spring Road, longleaf pines, sandy soil, a porch that remembers every sunrise across the county road, sits Cedar Crest rows of tan houses with matching rocking chairs and rules thick enough to use as doorstops. And I didn't buy a square inch in that HOA, not a vote, not a bylaw, nothing. The first knock came at 6:01 a.m., military punctual. I opened the door in my work boots with my coffee still steaming, and there stood Brooke Carver, navy blazer, clipboard phone on a hip holster like a deputy. "Mr. Reed," she said. "Without a good morning as president of Cedar Crest HOA, I'm here to collect your initial compliance assessment and 6 months of dues accrued during construction." She handed me a pink slip for $500 and tapped a highlighted section. Article 4, Section C, Usual Corridor. If we can see you, you're subject to standards. I looked past her at the county road and said, "Ma'am, this road is public. My taxes pay for it." She smiled like a guidance counselor about to write a referral and said, "We believe in harmony here," which is what people say when they want control without calling it control. The letters began to pile up. Notice of non-conforming birdhouses, excessive solar glare from panels, unauthorized native grass, unapproved wildlife, encouragement with a grainy phone photo of a doe and her fawn by my fence, always that same reasonable tone with a hook in it, be by Friday, comply within 7 days. Failure may result in liens and restricted amenities, and I'd sit there thinking, what amenities? The road you don't own. So I started a log the way you do when a story is being written about you that you don't recognize certified mail. With return receipts, time-stamped photos, calm replies, that all said the same thing. I'm not a member of Cedar Crest HOA. My parcel is not within your jurisdiction. Please cease contact. The day the switch flipped, I woke to the snarl of a mower stepped onto the porch, and there she was, Brooke herself, pushing a HOA mower 20 feet over my side of the line, chopping my native grass into neat little stripes. "This strip has been designated a community greenbelt," she said. "Like a museum docent must meet HOA standards." I pointed at the rusted stake I'd flagged when I broke ground. "That's my line," she said. "Not anymore." Article 7. Subsection 9. Unmaintained land adjacent to the HOA can be claimed for community beautification. Pulled the cord and let the blade roar, and I felt my jaw set the way concrete sets. When you finally stop fussing with it and let it be solid. I made 2 calls. Dana Ortiz, a real estate attorney, who files paper like a symphony, and my old surveyor friend, Lucas Hale, who carries a prism pole like it's a second spine. We spent a day under a clean sky. Bearings, distances, GPS shots overlaying the 1990s plat on county GIS checking meets, and bounds line by line. And just before sunset, Lucas held up his tablet and whistled. "Noah, tell me your eyes. See this 28 feet to the eastern boundary of Cedar Crest, sat 28 feet onto my parcel, which meant part of Brooks' corner lot at the patio where the board sipped lemonade, even that precious little gazebo they used for community chats. All of it on my deed, the developer's numbers twisted decades back and poured into concrete without anyone asking the map to speak, and suddenly my uncle's dusty note in the file cabinet made sense. If they ever decide your land is theirs, go make friends with a surveyor. You don't win with a speech, you win with paper. So Dana and I built a quiet hammer inside that envelope. Lucas's certified survey with stamp and seal recorder extracts with book and page numbers. You can walk into the county building and verify photos of Brooke mowing my side. Every letter they ever sent to collect. What they never owned, a spreadsheet converting that occupied strip into fair market use and occupancy. For 5 years, a notice of trespass, drafted and dated, not swung yet, just hanging there, like a weight above a nail. Neighbors heard about it the way neighbors do. Flyers went up. Emergency meeting. Addressing the Reed problem. And I brought my own folding chair, so I wouldn't owe them the seat. The room smelled like coffee and carpet cleaner folks. Whispering, not like gossips, but like an audience. The board up front, looking official in a way. Only laminated charts can make you look. Brooke hit the gavel like she needed to wake it. Order, we will address Mr. Reed, who has been within our visual corridor for 6 months without paying dues. The motion is to compel. Membership, collect back dues, require immediate compliance. And I stood while she was still mid-sentence, because sometimes the only courage you need is the kind that doesn't wait to be invited. I set the envelope down, unfolded. The maps clicked a little laser pointer and traced the corrected boundary like a seam you can finally see. This is the original plat. This is the survey we filed, that 28-foot strip you've been mowing. That gazebo. The edge of your patio. My land. And the room exhaled all at once. Trent. The board guy leaned in and whispered, not quietly, "You're kidding." Brooke's smile turned into something tight and brittle. "Fabricated," she said. An attempt to undermine community integrity. I didn't answer her. I watched an old man stand from the back. Harold Finch, retired county judge, with the voice of someone who has spent a lifetime waiting words. He checked the seal. The stamp, the book and page references. "These appear legitimate," he said. "If there's a surveying error, Mr. Reed has grounds." And you could feel the room tip, not like a riot, more like a boat rolling back toward level. I slid the last page across the table. Here's the notice of trespass and the use and occupancy calculation for the land you've been sitting on. That's 5 years at fair local rates. This is the number I said at once, let it sit. The murmur ran like wind through flagpoles. Then I gave the choices. Purchase the strip at current market value and clean it up on the record, or lease it for 5 years at the monthly rate. With conditions, immediate stop to all HOA enforcement against my parcel. Written acknowledgement that my land has never been under your jurisdiction. Remove any mention of my property from your bylaws and records, and a sign on your fence that reads, "No HOA activity permitted on this property during term of lease." And I said it without malice, because boundaries are about clarity, not humiliation. She laughed, that brittle laugh. "Drywall makes before it cracks. We'll sue. We'll lien. We'll restrict road access." "County road," I said. Already confirmed. And yeah, that happened, the protest. She tried to organize, drew 3 people, and one of them thought it was about a cell tower. You know what I mean. Donna filed a clean complaint, ejectment and quiet title for the 28-foot 5-foot strip injunctive relief to bar future HOA contact damages for trespass. We attached the harassment log photos, the stack of fake fines that added up to $18,000. And when we got to court, Judge Melanie Carr didn't waste a breath. HOA bylaws do a lot of things, but they don't move property lines. She said that like stating the color of the sky. Dana walked the chain of title, the plats, the overlay, that made the wrong boundary glow like a bruise. Brooks' lawyer floated adverse possession with numbers that couldn't stand, floated community standards, like bylaws were sovereign. And the judge angled her glasses and said, "Counsel, they are not." And that was that. The ruling landed straight. Encroachment confirmed within 60 days, Ms. Carver would either purchase the strip at market value or sign the 5-year lease at the rate we presented. With the conditions. I listed damages awarded for unauthorized use, all fines against me dismissed. And then the line that made the room go silent. Clerk forward. The attempted collections packet to the district attorney for review of potential fraud. No fireworks, no soundtrack, just the sound of a gavel that didn't need to be loud to be final. And if you were watching Brooks' hands, you would have seen her flatten her palms on the table like she was steadying a boat. We didn't have a celebration. I drove home, heated. Leftovers stood on the porch, while the light went gold through the pines, and a bluebird hopped on the cedar box. My uncle carved years ago. The sign went up. No HOA activity permitted on this property during term of lease. The email slowed to almost nothing, almost, and life became life again. Culverts to clear before a storm. Fence wire to tighten after it. Neighbors who wave a few. Who don't, most folks living in that space between wanting order and wanting to be left alone. People argue about it online like they do some say. I should have joined for the sake of harmony. Some say the HOA got what happens when authority forgets the difference between influence and ownership. My favorite comment was a simple one. Lines matter, so the rest of us can breathe. And I think that's the heart of it. Birdhouses, not grass. Not whether your panels throw a sparkle at 9 a.m. It's who gets to decide what belongs to whom. Whether rules are a fence or a leash. Whether you can say no without shouting. If your facts can carry the weight. You know what I mean. I'm not a hero. I'm just a man who checked the map, who kept copies, who believed quiet beats loud when the paper is right. And we ended this story exactly where it should end, at the moment a consequence landed. Because after that, it's just weather. So, here's where you come in. Do you think a neighborhood's idea of harmony should outweigh the line on a deed? HOAs keep order or collect it. Where would you draw the line, and how would you enforce it? Tell me in the comments. Push back. If you want, share the story you lived through on your street. Hit subscribe. If you want more real talk, told straight, and ring the bell so you don't miss the next one. Your turn now. What would you have done?